to the Little Blue Vlog, it's Jen here. Thank you for clicking on this video. I hope it finds you well. How are you guys? How has your week been? What have you been doing? I like our weekly check-ins. It's good to check in with you guys, hear from you guys, and just understand what you're going through and support you if I can. I'm just going to quickly give you a little update on Baxter. Insert clips here.
The whole tray.
And there he is, not sitting on the towel, which I put down. He likes to scrape it away and then move, and then there. Yeah, and he's been barking. So he may bark during this video. When people walk past the window, which is just here, he barks. And when I was literally just taking him for a walk and I came back, and there was a cat outside the front door, next door's cat, and he was like at the window of the car, and luckily I had him on a lead because he wanted to eat the cat, I think. And the cat, of course, is just like chilled and like, I don't care, and just like walks off. So yeah, and I think he's kind of getting used to being here now, because he's kind of, I feel like he's a bit more territorial. He seems to be barking at people and dogs, and he can hear next door if they make a noise, then he barks. When we first got him, he was quite quiet, but I guess because he was a bit like unsure. So now he's kind of like, yeah, I know what's going on now. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm a little bit obsessed with him and a little bit in love with him, but I know I've got to give him back. So I'm trying not to get too attached. But he's just so cute. Anyway, that's enough about Baxter. I just wanted to give you an update because I know some of you were interested to see how I got on with him. But it's definitely made me like know that we are definitely going to get a dog, like 100%. There's no doubt about it. My week has been so much better. I've been getting up. I haven't been lying in bed playing on my phone for hours and hours. I've been up. I've been on dog walks. So I've really, to say, like, animals for mental health, really, really quite amazing. To kind of not just like get you out, but that responsibility. And I'm sure I had a couple of comments, I think, from Sally Button. Hi, Sally. And she's saying about how that responsibility and can kind of take away from how you're feeling mentally, and that is so true. So yeah, if you have an animal, just absorb yourself in that, because they're just a great distraction and they bring so much joy. I know that he's brought me a lot of joy, but I do know I've got to give him back. Anyway, let's talk about talking therapy. So I've just put the phone here because, oh, here we go. What is it? What is it? It's me. It's my phone. Look. Oh, Baxter. There's no one there, dude. There's no one there. Oh, he's on my lap now. Sorry, guys, I will get to him in a minute. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. So, therapy. Now, often when we're diagnosed with a mental health problem, mental illness, first stage is medication, and my experience is they just chuck meds at you, see what works, see what doesn't work. And over the years I feel like I've been some sort of like drug experiment, especially last year when I was switching all my meds around and changing, and it's amazing the effect that it has. It's doing stuff to your brain, it's messing around with things in your brain, and it to obviously make you feel better, to make you manage your symptoms better. I'm on antidepressants to help me with my depression, anti-anxiety, mood stabilizers. So yeah, there is a place for medication, but I think a lot of the time it's just thrown at us, and then it's kind of like, okay, I've dealt with that now, go away. So meds are good. I'm not saying we don't need meds, we need meds. But meds is just one part. We need to think of treatment as a holistic approach. So we need to kind of think about all areas that we can improve and recover from our mental illness. So medication is one, therapy is another, self-care is another. But meds are often given as the only thing, and that doesn't do anything. That on its own is helping the symptoms, but it's not really helping you deal with the root cause of the problem. So therapy for me, I think, is just important, if not more important than medication. Now, I do appreciate this could be quite frustrating if you don't have access to therapy, whether it be talking therapy, group therapy, psychoeducational, one-to-one therapy, CBT, all of these different things. If you don't have access to it, I'm so sorry, and it just shows the state of this country and the mental health system, that you can't get that help, and you need to fight for it. You need to kind of be saying, I need this referral, I need this. You have to kind of like be tough and kind of push it a bit, which is what I've done in the past. So meds are good. We do need meds. I'm not saying that they are bad, but they do have a benefit. But sometimes therapy can be the same or more effective than medication. And that's what I'm trying to get at here. Particularly, I want to talk about my talking therapy experience through my counselling, because that's the therapy that I'm going through at the moment. But I have done other therapies. I've done cognitive behavioural therapy in a group setting. I have done dialectical behavioural therapy in a group setting. I've had one-to-one private counselling, and obviously my new counselling that I've had now. And I've also, when I was an outpatient at the local mental hospital, I took part in other group therapies. And I've also done psychoeducational therapy, which is more kind of like in a kind of educational classroom type sitting where you're going through a workbook and things like that. All of those have really helped, and they've all had their own benefits. I'm not going to go into each of the benefits because I have done a video on this. I think I've already said the different types of therapy, so please check that out. But I just want to say, for me, that there are benefits to therapy. You can learn about your illness. You can understand your illness. I found that when I got diagnosed, that I wanted to learn about the illness, and the psychoeducational group that I was in helped me have an understanding and an acceptance of my illness, so I could then move on to the next stage, which is learning ways to cope, managing your illness. So through therapy, you'll learn coping strategies. So if you have anxiety and you do CBT, you'll learn ways to kind of notice your negative thinking before it kind of takes over, and understand how your behaviours affect your feelings and your thoughts, and how your thoughts affect your feelings and your behaviours, and so on. Also, kind of talking about group therapy, it's kind of, I found it really good to be around people going through the same thing, and that can help as well. But I want to talk mainly about talking therapy and the benefits of that. But I just want to say here that it's not, I've picked up a pen, it's not for everybody. I know some people that I've been in other group therapies with that have sort of said, no, I don't want to go to counselling. I don't want to kind of dredge up all my history and my trauma and go through it. And I can totally understand that. But I think it's kind of necessary to go through that, because you've had trauma, you've had things that have happened to you and you've not dealt with them. And these can kind of, I'll put the pen down, these can kind of make you feel worse, because you're carrying this around with you, and it could be making you more poorly. It could stop you from progressing and transforming. And it's not for everyone, like I say, but there are benefits to it. And I have noticed those benefits, because you've got that ability to just kind of talk to someone and have someone listen who's completely impartial, who's really non-judgmental, and you can kind of cry, shout, or just sit there thinking. Sometimes with my counsellor, I can just sit there and I'll just be playing with my hands, and she'll be like, what are you thinking about? And I'll be like, I'm just suddenly, this memory has popped up. And then we can go through it and take it apart and dissect it and kind of link it to how I'm feeling in the present. Oh, I'm just going to move forward a bit. And also with counselling or talking therapy, there's an opportunity to look at your problems in a kind of way that's safe. So you're dealing with something difficult, but you're in a safe setting with someone who will respect your opinions, who's not going to judge you, who's not going to say, oh, that's wrong and you're a bad person, and oh, you shouldn't be addicted to this, and oh, I can't think of anything else. But you're in that safe environment, and I've really benefited from this because I can talk to Andy about stuff, I can talk to my mum, my friends, but on the whole, I don't want to kind of sit there and talk about my when I was raped. I don't want to talk about my suicide attempts with those sort of people. This is a setting where I can just say whatever I want, and it's really, really helped me. Talking therapies don't make the problem go away. Counselling for me hasn't made any of the problems go away. They are all still there, but it's made me kind of look at them from almost like they're playing on the TV screen. It's like you're an observer, and previously you were perhaps immersed in, let's say, like being in a film on the TV. So you're immersed in this film and getting involved in all kind of things, and judgmental and emotion and trauma and drama and all of that, hate, violence, whatever you've been through. And counselling kind of takes you a step back to kind of view it, rather than being immersed in it and kind of separated from it, be more objective. So you can kind of analyse the things that have happened and understand the things that have happened and then process them. So counselling can also promote our self-esteem and relationships and our outlook on life. And I have definitely experienced that. My outlook is much more positive now I'm going through counselling. It's bringing up a lot of stuff, and you have to go through it. You have to talk about your trauma, and you have to kind of take it apart and relive it almost, which sounds awful, but you're like I say, you're kind of removed from it in a way because you're looking at it objectively. So counselling isn't for everybody, and I understand that some of you will be like, I don't want to talk about that, I don't want to bring up my stuff, I don't want to face the trauma that I went through, and I totally understand that. But I do think there is a time and a place for talking therapies, counselling, to let go of this stuff and process it, because I think the long-term effects of that far outweigh the long-term effects of medication. That's just my point of view, and this is based on my experience with medication and side effects and things like that. But I do know that the medication I'm on does help me. It does keep me, my mood stabilizers keep me stable, my antidepressants stop me from going too low, and my anti-anxiety stop me from feeling anxious. They all do those things. But when we're just focusing on meds, we're not opening up our point of view, we're not opening up our eyes to other ways that we could get help for our mental illness. I hope this has been okay. Baxter seems to be nice and chilled now, which is good. Thanks for watching. Please let me know about your experience of therapy, not just talking therapy, but group therapy, psychoeducational therapy, CBT, DBT. Have you done therapy for bipolar, any other kind of mental illness? What have you been through? What were the pros? What were the cons? What are your thoughts? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to tell me how your week has been. Love you all to bits. Thanks for all your comments. Thanks for all your likes. Welcome to new subscribers. So good to have you in the community. I will see you next week. Lots of love. Take care. Bye now.